Hi, I'm Andre Webb, and you are watching From the Cape with Bass, hosted by Daniel Peterson.
Good day, everybody. Today we are with great bass player Andre Webb. Andre, welcome to From the Cape with Bass. Thank you for making time for me. Can you tell us about your first musical experience?
Okay. First of all, thank you, Daniel, for having me on your program, and also to everybody out there. So, my first musical experience. I grew up in a household where my dad actually introduced my elder brother, Michael, which
Mm.
you know, to the guitar. And so my dad played the basic stuff, but he introduced us, and so we had a guitar in at home.
Mm.
And from there, I think everybody just latched onto that because
Okay.
we also come from a musical family.
Mm.
So most of my family they are active on the scene.
Oh.
And the Nathan Caroluses and the Joshua Januaries and everybody else. And so we do have that music already in the family.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a difficult thing for us to just latch on and do that.
Mm.
And so we have a lot of singers in our family, a lot of keyboard players, drummers, the works. I was a late bloomer, however.
Mm.
So I started a bit late, but nonetheless, music was in my genes, and so
Mm.
that is just what captured me at first. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. That is a mouthful, but thank you. Thank you. So why did you choose the bass guitar?
Okay, now again, I wasn't. I don't see myself meant to play the bass guitar because what happened for me was that because we grew up in a Pentecostal home,
Mm.
guitar was my thing. So
Yeah.
I started playing lead guitar in church. I played drums as well. I played little keys, but never the bass.
Mm.
And so what happened is I was almost thrown into it when my brother. We used to play in a band called Revelations,
Mm. Okay.
and so my brother Peggy, who, he actually got into New Birth,
Mm.
the gospel group, and so that left us stranded, the band, and
So was he the bass player
he
for
was the band bass player for Revelations, my
Revelations?
Revelations group.
Okay.
But now what happened is Mario Wood,
Mm.
Brennan lead guitar player, he was also in our band,
Mm.
and I was playing like backing guitars, and so they said to me, "Listen, yeah, our bass player just stepped out, so you will automatically have to jump in there."
Because you were the underdog.
Yeah, I was the underdog. I was almost the replaceable one, And so for me it was, hey, do I need to take this thing on? And so it started with one finger, that type of scenarios. But so yeah, I was just almost thrown into the place. But as time progressed, I started loving this thing
Mm.
because I mean I started to feel the grooves and how nice it is to because the bass kind of holds everything
Yeah.
together. So when you play a certain note, there's a saying that they can play whatever chord, but once the bass player decides what note it is, then the chord changes into that
Change the
direction.
whole
Yeah,
direction of the
and,
music.
and so I love the fun playing the foundation part and just having the back of the band and having everybody else to play on that foundation.
Mm.
That was my introduction to bass guitar.
Wow, that is interesting, man. So being thrown into the deep end and being the underdog. Tell me, do you have any formal musical education?
Well, that's the thing. I'm actually a self-taught bass player,
Okay.
and so for many years, you used to follow the Semi Webbers and Wesley Rustons and everybody in the trade, and you wanted to copy what they're doing, and it for a while it worked for me
Mm.
until I started doing the upright bass, and
Okay.
I started playing with. I was lucky actually to be tutored by Zalton. Zalton, um, he was one of the best upright bass players. And he lived close by to me. So, and I think he played for 38 or 40 years. He played for the Cape Town Philharmonic Orchestra. And so I was fortunate. But one of the first things he said to me is, you need to start reading music
Mm.
because there's no way you can. And he actually gave me this book. That's why I read here.
Wow.
Because this was my first book with him. That's on playing the contrabass,
Mm.
and you can only get it from him.
Okay.
You could only get it from him. Um, and so I was forced to now go back and retrain myself
Okay.
into reading music. But that changed my world. because I could play from the South African Army band. I could fit into basically just anywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
And up till today, I get the chance passed on to me because we have a festival going this weekend,
Okay.
and so it's easy just to slot in. And so yeah, I'm a bit of both really.
Okay.
So I have a little bit of ear training because I started with the ear, and then later developed into having being forced now start reading.
The word being forced to stand
Yeah,
up. Being forced.
I'm saying being forced to because that is how it felt at the time.
Yeah.
But afterwards, it changed my world. And
Wow.
so I realized, I mean, how can you do music without actually being able to read? So yeah, this is the basic of it.
Well, that's beautiful, man. So tell me, I know you've obviously worked on a few albums and with a few artists. First time I saw you, I think it was early 2000, because you were in the Mitchell's Plain side
Yeah.
of the gospel scene, and,
Yeah,
and you were playing for, I think, Praise Saints.
yeah, present.
So tell me about the albums that you worked on, and also the artists besides Praise Saints, and
Yeah.
also how that came to be, please.
Yeah. Well, I like I said, I mentioned earlier, I grew up in the gospel arena, and for many years that was my life. Not that I'm out of it.
Yeah.
I'm still there. But for many years, I used to play in the gospel scene. And so Praise I grew up with the Praise group, and because we were in the same church.
Yeah.
And so we were all part of one um, little group. And so automatically, with the Nico followers, all of us, we just started that old setup, and it was brilliant for many years. It worked very well. Um, and so from there, I started of course, branching out to also type of different setups. And so I've recorded with Sadikan. We've recorded a couple of albums, the flamenco guitar player.
Yeah.
Toucan, we were busy with recordings and stereo. Um, I recorded with Maya Spector.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and so
So the list goes on.
yeah, I recorded a gospel album with Pastor Hurling. He's in the States. And with of course with Julius May and everybody else in there. So yeah, there was quite a few projects. Not everything comes to mind now, but we were quite involved with a couple of things in the studio.
So tell me, how did the Toucan gig? How did that come to be?
Yeah, well, I played. I've featured with Jimmy for a couple of times. Jimmy Dudu. So I played with Frank Paco there.
Okay.
We were just playing around, doing jams and all types of different things. And from there, of course, Frank told me, "Hey, man, Elder, our bass player, which is one of my great bass heroes. He's going back to Mozambique, and so we need a bass player. Are you willing to stand in?" And I said, "Cool." I mean, I said, "Cool. Toucan has got brilliant music. I know it's been difficult to get it all down." Uh, and so, yeah, I went to a couple of rehearsals and we clicked from the word go.
Okay.
And then I played for many years after that with the Toucan band. And that was an experience of my life because, of course, we played Afro Cuban and we played all these different rhythms. And it was just amazing to get all these different feels. And playing with Frank Paco is a different story altogether. Because Frank can play and he goes in and out of timing. He comes back so easily.
Yeah.
And so to play with a drummer like that, I would recommend any bass player to start there because there you get to hold up your end and to keep your groove and to make sure that you are in time because you need to count for yourself. It was a brilliant experience and something I will never live down.
Wow.
And up till today, we still do. Toucan is at the moment they're doing more um, events kind of or functions. Uh, and so
Corporates or
yeah, corporates and exclusive music. So at times we are called upon,
okay.
and so we just group the team members back together and we do what we need to do. Yeah.
So you're the first bass player on call when it comes to Toucan doing an event nowadays.
Yeah, I do all Toucan's music. Of course, with the elder not being in town. So for many years now, I've been that bass player.
Wow. So you're the man.
Oh no, I'm not the man.
Okay, I see you have some nice gear here. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, well, Mark Bass, speaks for itself, the
Mm.
brand. And so I think any bass player that of course, I had to go through a couple of different bass amps. I'm not going to
Mm.
go into the brands, but of course, once you go through a couple of brands and you need, and for me, I needed power. I needed to be heard. When
Yeah,
you
yeah,
play a gig, you don't want a little MP at the back that will
yeah.
throw you out. So at one point, I said, no, man, let me rather just get the best.
Mm.
And so I went with Mark Bass, and I've never been disappointed
Wow.
since, because I
And
mean,
it sounds beautiful. It
yeah,
sounds beautiful.
yeah, that gives me everything I needed.
Mm.
I mean, I can check my upright bass in here. I can check any of the basses that I do use in here, and it gives me what I want.
Wow. And your guitars?
Yeah. So this little um, baby, it's a Ibanez Sangha, the SR Prestige. It's the 4005. So I've had it for about 15 years.
I've
Yeah,
seen you.
yeah. So I've had it for about 15 years now. And so this one I imported
Okay.
because I wanted this bass. Like I said, I've mentioned in the first group that I played Revelations, they had a sound gear, but of course one of the entry models.
Mm.
But I love the neck of feel, of course, of the neck. I love the body. I love
Mm.
how lightweight it was. I just love everything about the bass. So I used to take that bass wherever I went.
Mm.
And so as I grew older and I could now afford a bass, I really just wanted this particular bass. And so I did a little bit of homework and I tracked and okay, the 4005 is available. You need to import it though.
Mm.
And I just got someone and we did the importing.
Wow.
And I've had it ever since. And not a day in all these years did I have an issue with this
Wow.
guitar. I mean, I could try different types of strings on it. It just comes like a baby.
Wow. So this is like the flagship.
This is my go-to guitar.
Wow.
And of course, the Marcus Miller, the V7, is also a standard. I think in most bass players. I think nowadays, all the young bass players they go for this bass. It's a very very strong bass.
Mm.
Um, it gives you a bit of both worlds, the jazz Fender
Yeah, yeah.
kind of feel, also combined with the Marcus Miller kind of crunch and power.
Mm.
And so it's a beautiful, beautiful bass. I have to add though, the reason why I don't use it as often as I do with this one is just it's a heavy one.
Okay.
So especially when you do longer, you do a couple of hours of like 3 4 sets of.
But you do take it with on the gigs, like as a backup. Oh.
No, I never take it. But
Oh.
unless I know this is a one set kind of gig,
Mm.
because it's very powerful and it gives me everything I want. So yeah, but also I think it's more to do with what I feel like on the
Mm.
night.
Mm.
Sometimes you just feel okay, this bass will be perfect, and only a musician can actually
Mm.
explain that. Wow, how that type of scenario works in our brains.
Mm.
You just feel no, from tonight this one is because there's a lot of soloing going.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
your neck goes to a certain, and there's a lot of slabbing going tonight because
Mm.
and so it depends on what the gig is all
Okay.
about.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah.
So, Andre, can you give me or give any advice to young up and coming bass players and musicians out there?
Yeah, okay. I think the most important part of piece of advice that I want to give to any musician out there is have the right attitude.
Mm.
You know, I mean, I won't call myself one of the best bass players, but I think my attitude contributed far more than my skill to where I got to play, because I traveled to a lot of places abroad,
Mm.
from the Seychelles to the States to wherever,
Yeah.
And I contribute that to the attitude because I was quite easy to work with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not to put a feather in my
Mm.
own head, but I think that contributes to uh, why people want to work with you because you are workable and you have the right attitude.
Mhm.
You do check out your music beforehand. You're on time, so all of those contribute
Yeah.
to of course being a well-rounded musician. So check out your parts. Don't scram away from difficult pieces. Work your parts, and like I said, be on time. But
Mm.
but more than that, be a well-rounded person. in terms of your attitude
Mm.
and the way you interact with people. And of course, when it comes to the skill part of it, I think the musicians today they have so much more than what we could ever have.
Mm.
You know, you can start as a beginner on the internet. You
Yeah.
go on YouTube and you can. I mean, once you're done there, you can be, one of the top musicians because you can get everything that you need
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Back in our day, we used to what's okay, he's doing that, and you could try it out,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, and you have to find a guitar first and then try it out. And if it doesn't look right or feel right, then you have to go back
Mm.
and people weren't really willing to teach you because I think they were also a bit dodgy in
Yeah.
their ways.
Yeah.
But I think for musicians, for young musicians, I would just say get yourself a tutor, get to learn to read music.
Mm.
That is very very important. But more than that, be a good person. You
Mm.
know, be a well-rounded musician. And, you
Wow.
know,
Andre, thank you so much for making time for me, for making time from the Cape of Base. God, you on your journey.
thank you, Daniel. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for liking and sharing this video with your family and friends. Please follow From the Cape with Base on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you so much.